Klopp claims no selection headache, Ramos reaches record, Conte wants Eriksen out, a transfer roundup, and today's great debate all coming up in the next few minutes as I'm your host Matt Froelich, you are the One Footballers, and this is the Daily News. So first off, and Jurgen Klopp has said there is no selection headache ahead of the massive game of the weekend against Manchester City, and all because of Diogo Jota. Now, if you haven't heard, he's been a brilliant signing for Liverpool, and my word, he's been in some scintillating form. A hat-trick last night against Atalanta meant that Liverpool absolutely cruised past their Italian opposition to another 3 points in the Champions League, and so much so that the question has been asked, would he do a better job than Roberto Firmino in this Liverpool team? Of course, all the Liverpool fans will rush in and say, oh, Firmino's such a key part of this team, this, that and the other, all his defensive work he does and all this nonsense. But Jota's finding the back of the net. Along with Mane and Salah, all three of them scored last night. They all look like a really good unit, and you can't help but think that Jota is probably worth a try in that position in his current form. I'm not saying Firmino's bad, but he's a striker, and regardless of all the other work he does need to be in the middle to score some goals. He's only got one this season and a couple of assists, and I don't know. Personally, I think it'd be worth it against Manchester City, but Klopp obviously has other ideas, and he's the guy who's paid to make these decisions, not me. He said that Firmino will be in the starting lineup for Sunday, so you can only imagine that Jota, despite all this amazing form, is still going to be left on the bench. But it's not Klopp who has a selection headache ahead of the weekend. Guardiola, as well as his team, welcomed Liverpool after beating Olympiacos 3-0. Now, they did do it quite comfortably, and Olympiacos didn't exactly provide the best of opposition. But who is Guardiola going to play through the middle? He's been starting Ferran Torres there, and to quite good effect as he's got a couple of goals. But Gabriel Jesus made his return from injury and got on the score sheet, so that kind of leaves the door open for him, especially with Sergio Ramos out as well. It looks like it could be a few difficult decisions for both managers, but I'm sure it'll be a rather interesting game. Anyway, moving on to Real Madrid, and after a disastrous start to their Champions League campaign, they sorted things out last night with a scintillating 3-2 victory over Inter Milan. I mean, there were some good bits and some bad bits for Real Madrid, but overall, the game was really good. I thought Inter put up a fantastic fight back after being 2-0 down. Real Madrid were clinical in the attack, and Sergio Ramos was at it again. It's a close corner. It's a Ramos header. You've seen it a million times in the Champions League, and it's things you love to see. Is he the best defender of all time? Certainly one of the best goal-scoring defenders of all time. So many questions flying about. Anyway, Ramos' header was his 100th goal for Real Madrid. 100 goals. Some strikers don't even reach that for, kind of average clubs. Ramos has done it for one of the biggest clubs in the world. That was his 55th header, and it did put Real Madrid 2-0 up on the night, with Rodrigo grabbing the winner to make it 3-2. Alongside this, well, Ramos is showing that maybe he does deserve the contract he wants. He is out of contract at the end of the season, and despite the fact he wants a 2-year deal, apparently the board are only willing to offer him another 12 months. I get it. When you reach your mid-30s, you don't necessarily want to put a lot of money in a long-term contract into a player. Having said that, this is Sergio Ramos we're talking about. Like, it's not like any other, 34-year-old defender. This is Ramos. Like, probably the best defender in the club's history, one of the most loyal servants to the club, and yeah, just an all-round unbelievable leader on the pitch still, despite his advancing years. Alongside this, talking of Champions League records, Karim Benzema became the third highest goal scorer in the group stage in Champions League history with 49 goals, behind Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, of course, and Robert Lewandowski fired himself into the record books, becoming the fourth highest goal scorer in Champions League history with 70 goals now as he grabbed 2 against RB Salzburg. That leaves him just 1 behind Raul and still quite a lot behind Ronaldo and Messi, so I think it's kind of an unrealistic target for the 32-year-old. Next up though, we did mention Inter Milan briefly, and Antonio Conte, the manager, wants to get rid of Christian Eriksen. I don't want to say I told you so and I saw this coming, but I told you so and I saw it coming. Less than 12 months after he left Tottenham to sign for Inter Milan for around £70 million, it turns out that he really doesn't have the balls to manage it at the very highest level. Who would have thought it? Every Spurs fan who watched him for the last few months. Conte apparently isn't impressed at his attitude, isn't impressed at what he's doing on the pitch, and they say that they really don't understand each other. Of course, Eriksen is also very annoyed at having to sit on the bench for the large majority of the season, but when he comes on, he still doesn't make too much of a difference. This is what you're hoping for in a creative attacking player, and he just does not provide it. I was watching the Real Madrid-Inter Milan game last night, seeing the effort the likes of Vidal put in, seeing the quality that Barella's got in the middle as well, and you just think when the back's up against the wall against Real Madrid, or when you're on the cusp of achieving something fantastic away to Madrid, he's just not the kind of guy to step up and make the difference. In the smaller game, yeah, maybe. But really, in these big games, I just don't see him have the cojones, as the Spanish would say, to go out and do the business. Anyway, moving on from that and to a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news. Tottenham have apparently been given the green light by their owner to go ahead and give Heung-min Son a brand new contract worth over £200,000 per week. Carlo Ancelotti is still interested in raiding former club Real Madrid, this time for attacking midfielder Isco to play alongside James Rodriguez. Leverkusen want up to €50 million if they're to part with winger Moussa Diaby in January. And lastly but not least, teenage sensation Pedri at Barcelona has had his release clause set in his contract at around €400 million. So finally then, we come to this week's great debate. This is where the guys in the OneFootball newsroom ask all of you guys a question and leave our answers in the relevant article in the OneFootball app. But for this week's comment section, they want to know what is going to be the most exciting title race this season. Of course, there's loads of leagues to choose from, but for me, it's going to be Serie A. Of course, Juventus are the team to knock off the top. They've won it, 8 or 9 times in a row by now? But having said that, I feel like there's quite a few contenders first off. AC Milan have had a brilliant start to the season. Conte's building a good thing at Inter, despite the fact they've dropped a few points. And alongside this, Atalanta just can't help but find the back of the net. Well, unless you're talking about the Champions League, that is. Having said that as well, it's not necessarily that there's big contenders to these teams, but in the past, the big teams have kind of had it all their way, but there are so many teams now who, even though they aren't going to challenge for the title, they're capable of taking points off the top sides. Sassuolo have had a great start to the season, or I'm not so sure they can keep it up, but there's also the likes of Roma and Napoli as well, who are more than capable of beating the title contenders on their day. So I don't think Juventus are going to have it so easy this season. Of course, you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on the great debate and the rest of today's daily news. Who would you start with ahead of the weekend's clash between Liverpool and City? Is it Jota or is it Roberto Firmino? Anyway, whilst you're at it, you can smash the like button and find all the other content that we've got going on OneFootball by clicking here or here. That's all from me today though. Have a great day and I'll see you guys later.